I call her Mel, you know, like the Spice Girl, you know what I'm saying? And I don't stink. I actually smell good though. So Mel, can you tell us what you do at Pompeii? What do you?
Yeah, so my name is Melanie, and I actually work on the business development team here at Pompeii Surgical. I'm also a former patient, actually, of Dr. Q, the original doctor. And I'm almost 8 years out from my surgery.
8 years. You look good too, by the way.
Thank you.
You do look good, by the way. See, I only hang out with smart people, man. You know what I'm saying? She runs shop, he runs shop, they all run shop. I hang out with smart people. So, a lot of questions that I have about, because she could answer better stuff. So, remember I was telling you earlier, a lot of people feel like weight loss surgery is far-fetched, like they can't afford a lot of it. So, I know you was telling me about the financing stuff. Mm-hmm. Can you let the viewers know how can they, you know, is it far-fetched? Like, I can't get surgery because I don't make enough money. Can you kind of let them a little bit know about that?
And one of the important things, and I think when I consider the difference back when I had surgery, all these years ago versus the opportunity that's been made available over the years to patients, it's so much easier. Back when I had surgery, that's the way the industry was. There was no financing available.
Just pay straight up.
You either had the cash to pay or you didn't. And so that's something that Pompeii has worked extremely hard over the years to ensure that as much as we possibly could to make this surgery available to as many people as we can.
Don't be stiffing out on your payments. Pay the people. Stop playing.
So, you know, originally back when I had surgery, it was like you had to pay cash. There weren't any traditional lenders or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then what you saw, and I'm not really sure when it came in, but it was sometime after my surgery. You did see at least 2 or 3 companies that did start funding these types of loans. But the problem is you had to have excellent credit. They tacked on a lot of fees and things like that.
Yeah.
So even though there was an opportunity to finance the surgery, it still wasn't perfect. You know, even on our end, there were lots of people that we saw every year who they couldn't get that financing, they couldn't come up with the cash pay payment, and so they were out of options. So we spent probably a good 3 or 4 years working towards that solution, which is our in-house financing program.
Which by the way is dope. Like I know a lot of people who have done the in-house financing, and I think I don't want to give a straight answer like with that. I think it's like between $1,800 and $2,200, something like that. Which I know it's a lot easier to come up with a down payment. Because in reality, we probably spend $200-300 on dumb stuff a month, and why not spend it on your
health?
Your
Invest
health.
in your health.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you know what I mean.
I mean, especially like I said, and it's something we work towards every year, and we keep pushing. That's one of the things. Being a former patient, I really appreciate about Pompeii is they never stop. They never stop trying to.
All right, I got a question for you. So can you take my viewers through what's the first process? So like a lot of people come to me, I send them to the Pompeii website. What can they expect? Like as soon as they go on the website, what's the process from? Do you?
Sure. So if you want to get started on the process, the very first thing that we need is for you to submit your eligibility form.
And what's that? What comes on the eligibility?
So
yeah, I know what she said.
That's the health questionnaire that tells us what we need to know to determine if you're a candidate for surgery.
Okay.
And so that's going to be the first one. Now, if you come, if you're a cash pay patient, it goes one way. If you are a financing patient, then it goes another. But if you plan on financing, then your next step would be you need to submit the financing application as well. We do work with, the full pay lenders, which is like Cetera and United or.
Is this Cetera or Santander? Like Santander.
Cetera.
That's how you say it? Cetera?
Yes. And then
I learned something today.
Medical credit. And then our in-house program is something different. That's something that we uniquely built out.
Okay.
Because it kind of bridged the gap between Cetera and United. They're going to go based off credit score, and I'm sure a big formula to determine. So if you don't have the really good credit or above a certain point, it can be difficult sometimes to get your loan through them. So we built the in-house as a secondary option to help more people and increase the availability towards for the patients.
So then once they do the financing, then what's the next step after that? Like say somebody gets financed, what would come after that?
Okay, so it's going to depend on which type of financing you go for. If you're going through United or Medical Credit, then, our guys are gonna assist you as far as booking as basically a full pay patient, because those are companies.
Because that pretty much, that company pays you guys in full, and then you have to pay that company
They
back.
fund the whole loan.
Okay.
So on our end, and this is something you see in the industry that I think people really misunderstand.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other companies out there will use United or Cetera and they call it an in-house financing program. But as far as the provider, they're exactly like a cash pay patient to us.
Yeah, because that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys use those two guys, they pretty much front the money, give Pompeii the whole money, and then you guys have to pay them back, not really Pompeii. So if they use in-house financing, which
that is different, because the way that's structured is that we are having to float that loan balance.
Okay.
And that's why there's a difference on how they get scheduled and things like that, because in order to maintain that option and availability for our patients, we have to make the entire financial system work.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, and so some people, they'll look at one company over here and they say, well, they have in-house financing and they said I can book anytime. And then they look at us and they say, well, why doesn't your in-house financing treat it in the same manner?
Because they're not looking at how you guys do it.
It's because the company that they're looking at doesn't actually have to float the capital. And they're simply taking United and Cetera and saying, oh, this is in-house financing. And that's entirely different from the option we created for our patients. It extends to help more people.
Which, it's crazy, because before I got the surgery, I thought that was it. Like, well, it don't even matter to me. This is it. Pompeii is it, because I've never had a bad experience ever coming here as a patient or as a friend, like a companion to help somebody. Even the staff, if you don't know English, everybody knows English over there. They're just dope. It's a dope ass. It's clean. We actually in one of the beach house, like the little condos. It's dope in here too. So after, let's say we got in-house financing, after that process, what goes next for the patient?
So for the in-house financing, then what the coordinating staff is going to do is they're going to look on our surgical calendars and they're going to see when the next available dates are for you. In order to maintain the portfolio to be able to offer in-house financing, like I said, there's a big complicated formula that we have to make sure is balanced. And so that's the reason why we can only do so many of those surgeries per month. Because if we unbalance that formula, then that could be something that would take that option away from the community.
But it wouldn't be fair either. Like, if I came up with 5 racks or whatever it costs to get the surgery, and I came up with the money, and then somebody's getting financed, I feel like, me personally, I'm not saying anybody else, I should be on the top of the list. I'm coming to pay some bread. And
we don't necessarily look at it that way, because the most important thing is that people get the help they need.
Yeah.
What was important for us when we created this program was to add an option into the industry that was not there before.
Which is dope, though,
Yeah.
because you
The
finance
most
cars, you might as well finance your health.
The most important thing is people get the help they needed. And the whole point of that program was because we saw so many patients every year that they needed that option. Because without that option, there is no surgical option for them. So that's why we built it. That's why we maintain it the way that we do. And that's why we do have some of those limitations on availability. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, if that program didn't exist, so many more people would not get surgery.
Yeah,
ever.
definitely.
People would die.
They wouldn't have the money up front to pay that. And then, a lot of people don't have the money up front to pay that, which I think is dope from Pompeii that they actually finance. So, which I think is excellent. So after we scheduled, and because I'm trying to take my viewers on a roadmap, like pretty much on how things go. So after I'm scheduled, let's say I got a September date. I had a September date, and so how does it go? You guys, we pretty much have to handle getting to where?
I think maybe a really good thing to answer for your viewers is, as far as on our end, what steps do you need to complete the process to get that point, to get to that surgical date, to get to that?
That too. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. So after in-house financing, and what happens next?
So as simple as we can make it, submit your surgical form. That way we can make sure you're a candidate for surgery. If you plan to finance, you need to make sure and submit your financing application. Once that gets in and gets approved, then you're going to receive a call and an email letting you know you were approved, and then get your, your down payment, and that varies based on the way they've set up the formula, and how. That's the part that I'm not as familiar with because I don't work in that formula. I just help to build that one out. But that's the thing that you can expect. It's submit the surgical form, submit the financing application, and then expect for us to contact you by phone. And if we don't get you by phone, we also send an email out letting you know that you've been approved and that what your down payment terms are. From there, you just need to accept those terms in order for us to get you set up for a surgical date.
All right, now we have a date, and now what happens after that date?
From there, as long as the financing contract is signed and you've got your down payment, then you go just like any other patient. We're going to call you 2 weeks before surgery to remind you to start your pre-op diet. Transportation is going to get in touch with you to confirm your transportation that day. And
which you guys are really dope about that too, because I got phone calls like crazy. Yeah, I did. I think that was dope. Like remind somebody like me, like my life is always busy. So definitely, I definitely do that. So then the beach house. Then you guys have two options. We could do the Holiday Inn, right? Is it the Holiday Inn or the Hilton? Holiday Inn, right?
It's the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, I stayed at the Holiday Inn. And then you have a beach house, which is like. It's about 30 minutes. I don't think it's about 30 minutes from Pompeii, which is dope. The beach is right here. Y'all seen pictures, and if you're not, I'll show y'all. But so people have options to stay at the beach house or to do a Holiday Inn. Because the Holiday Inn is like complimentary or something like that, right? It's like
for after surgery.
For after surgery, yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say is we are always working and building this formula out. The retreat project is really unique because, like I said, the one thing I respect about Pompeii is they're always looking on how to better this experience for patients.
Yeah, I see now.
It's so different than when I had surgery 8 years ago. I mean, patients today get a lot more value. They get a lot more interaction and help, especially with the post-operative care. And so the retreat project that you're staying at now is another step on that journey for us as a company. We do think it's important for people to come down and have a couple days to get familiarized with what being in Mexico is like, to get to know the staff, to understand that there isn't a language barrier with us, because that's going to help reduce the anxiety for a patient that's going into surgery.
And now, from what I see, everybody speaks English. I try to speak Spanish, and y'all know I speak Spanish, but everybody speaks English. Like you see, even Dr. G speaks English. I don't know how this kid playing basketball in Mexico, but we were in.
So as of right now, yes, that's an option available. But ideally, on our part, if we could get everyone to where they can all come to the same place, they can all experience the retreat, they can all have those benefits of the nutrition classes and the spa that we just launched and things like that, that's what we want to build towards. So right now there's a bit of a transition period that we're going into, but it's all for the benefit of the patient and their care.
The spa is dope. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm like trying to, I think people don't like to watch like long crazy videos. You know what I'm saying? They're like, right. But I know a lot of people are interested in the weight loss surgery thing, and they like I said, I recommend everybody here that I know that are looking for weight loss surgery, because it's a dope ass place. And so you had surgery 8 years ago. How much weight have you lost, if you don't mind?
No. I'm an open book.
That's
and
what's up.
One of the big reasons, because a lot of people know me from the Facebook group, and that's a big reason I've always stayed a participant in the group over the years, is because back when I had surgery, it was very hard to find someone who was more than 2 years out that still posted online, that still answered questions. And for me, I feel like that gives people kind of like a myth about surgery. A lot of people assume,
what are the myths you heard about surgery?
I'll answer that one in a second. Let me tell this one because it's important. So with that one, it gives people the wrong perception. A lot of people are like, past 2 years, there's a significant amount of regain or whatever. No, that's not what happens. I know we all see people who are looking for revisions and things online, but in my experience, the vast majority of people don't participate online because they lost the weight, they maintained it, and they're out living their lives. I stayed on there so that I could kind of show people, I'll be 8 years out in October. I've still maintained my weight loss. I started out at 237 pounds. Right now I weigh about 152.
That wasn't big. 230 wasn't big.
I know, but A lot of people say that.
No, I get it though. Everybody has their own journey, their own weight loss reasons.
For
and all
me,
that.
I started rapidly gaining weight after I had children. And based on my personal family history, that's exactly what happened with my mother. I've had generations of family who suffered obesity. I chose to have surgery as a preventative measure because I didn't want to get to that point of being 300 pounds and living with that and it degenerating my body, my bones, everything like that, and being in a very different place where I have a very different struggle losing that weight.
It is hard.
Yeah, so sometimes lower BMI patients can kind of get that stigma. But I think if you look at it from the other end, which is okay, what was your weight when you had surgery?
I think I was like 314 pounds.
Okay. So imagine if the opportunity were available, or if you had thought of it or whatever, would you have had it at a lower weight if you could, as long as the risk outweighed?
Actually, back in 1997, when it was the gastric bypass, it was kind of like a new thing. My mother, the doctor approved me for it. I was like, I'm not getting surgery. I didn't want to get surgery.
Sure.
So I mean, I could have had it a long time ago, but to me, I believe in God, and I think God, when He wanted me to have that surgery, this is when I had the surgery. So, but yeah, I've always been big my whole life and stuff.
Well, it's one of those things. It's like when you were talking about your question as far as who qualifies and how does this? It's so individual. For me, I could already at 237 pounds. I'm only 5'4", and I could feel how it was affecting my body, especially having to run around after a kid. And so at that point in time, I did feel like it was something that was very important.
And yeah, I always mess with people too. Like,
no.
I mess with people. I look at people like, why are you having surgery? But everybody has their own reason for. And I always say that to everybody. It's either, if it's for vanity or if it's for health reason, it doesn't matter. You work for that money and you earn that money, you get whatever you want. If you want to put an extra boob on your neck, that's your money, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And one thing, because I got Dr. G on the side, he's still here, but I forgot to ask him, and I remember we was talking about that earlier, the myth about people growing their stomach back.
So I'll tell you an interesting story about my personal journey because everyone wonders that. And being that I was so far out, I actually had them give me a barium swallow at 6 years post-op because I wanted to know if that myth was reality.
A lot of people don't know what the barium swallow is.
So the barium swallow, they give you a cup of barium, you drink half of it, it goes down, and they take x-rays of your stomach, and that shows you the
what is barium? What is that?
Dr. G, what is barium?
What is barium?
Barium?
It's a contrast.
First of all, it's the worst thing you could. I'd rather lick a whole city block of Tijuana to ever have to do the barium thing again. Seriously, that thing is horrible. So you say you did one 6 years post-op?
6 years post-op, because this is the stigmas that people believe in the bariatric community, and I wanted to know the answer based on my personal experience because I know my journey. I know I've made a lot of mistakes as a patient. I know I'm almost 8 years out and I've been able to maintain my weight loss, so I wanted to put it to the test. Okay, did my sleeve stretch?
Ugh.
No, he saw the barium swallow.
Yeah.
Roughly my sleeve is about the size of my esophagus, which is what, an inch in diameter?
2 inches.
2 inches.
Wow.
I learned that. Dr. G told me that the other day.
So it's very similar.
We was looking at one.
And we even compared yours with the new one.
Yeah, they
Remember?
compared mine to a patient who just had their sleeve done so that I could see.
And it pretty much stayed the same.
Yep.
It was.
So
It's,
that's another myth. Like people say you drink, which I don't suggest anybody really drink carbonated drinks. Sometimes we do, we're adults, we drink alcohol once in a while. You might have a rum and coke, but that was another myth that you drink carbonated drinks and it stretches it out.
He would be able to answer that.
You can give me one on the sideline. Is that true? If you drink carbonated drinks, it's gonna stretch out?
I mean, it's not gonna do something significantly. This is the truth. When people say, "Oh, the stomach stretch," they're talking about the pouch. Okay?
Yeah.
If they leave a big pouch, that's the thing that expands, stretches, and it's like a boot, right? Slim, and boom. That's
But one thing, your stomach will never stretch to the size it was.
No, of course not.
No, it can't go back to
It
the way it
won't
was.
stretch to the size it was. People, duh. So they, So the size of the esophagus, he told me, was like 2 inches, and that's pretty much what they leave going down. So you have a little bit of stomach. Now, I think now I only eat like 3 bites. Like I literally for lunch, I had breakfast. I had the oatmeal that they have in front of Pompeii, the guy sells, and then I literally had a taco. And I don't eat the tortilla shell. I just ate the cilantro, onion, and the pork. And 1 taco got me full still till now, and that was about 3 hours ago.
Well, and to address one of the myths, you know, because can you stretch a sleeve to some degree? Yes. Well, or a surgery to some degree, yes, that can happen. But I think the myth that's important to bust in the bariatric community is being a patient myself, understanding that you can stretch it to some degree, but you're never going to stretch it back to the stomach you once had, is everyone always asks this question out of fear of regain. And so I think it's more of a combination of things when you consider regain over the years. Can you stretch it to a little bit? Sure, yeah, you can. But what I see most often, and when I've experienced personal regain myself that I've had to go back and lose back, it's a combination of your behaviors and things like that. So it's
like the stuff that you're eating.
Yeah, the things that you're eating or how you're eating them. Some people, you know, they have this, I eat so much more than I used to. I would really tell them to analyze their behaviors around eating. Because if I go order a plate of food and I bring it home and then I go by my fridge every 10 minutes or so and take a bite, then yeah, I'm gonna be able to eat more. But it's because I'm not paying attention to my behaviors. If I were to sit down and eat it like a meal and only spend 15 minutes eating, then I guarantee I'm gonna feel my restriction. So it's how you're consuming the items and what you're consuming that also contributes to that regain factor.
So it's actually good to eat and then feel your restriction, and then, because with me, I eat, I feel it. Like I can actually feel it. And once I feel it to right here, I just stop eating. I don't want to, because it sucks when you eat too much and the acid, and you're just like,
Let me tell you, almost 8 years out, when I overeat, still to this day, I can feel it.
It sucks.
And it's not fun.
Nobody wants to feel like they ate a Thanksgiving dinner for breakfast. Like that's the worst feeling in the world. Which I think that's why I'm losing so much though. But Melanie, you can tell me your full name again.
My name is Melanie Henson.
Melanie, and y'all can reach out on the Pompeii group. They have a Facebook group. You guys have an Instagram group too.
No, we don't have an official Instagram group.
Somebody must have put up one or something like that.
Who knows? You know, but no, we don't have an official one that we put out there.
But the Facebook one is official, right? Y'all can look up Pompeii Surgical, even online, like the website. The website,
PompeiiSurgical.com.
Let us know. Come on, you take us out and let us know.
Okay. So you can reach out to us on for all the information, PompeiiSurgical.com. That's where you can fill out your surgical eligibility form. You can fill out your financing forms. If you have questions, you can always contact our coordinating staff. You can email them at contact@PompeiiSurgical.com, or you can call our primary line at 619-874-9663. And then come join our Facebook group. There's, I think almost 25,000 people in it at this point. So patients are always talking about their journeys. They're at different places, asking questions, answering questions. So if you want to come check us out, you're welcome to join.
And I'm gonna add all the info. I'm gonna figure out how to add the info, like, do like a little ticker across the screen, because I don't know nothing about this stuff, and they know too. And then I'm gonna put Dr. G's personal phone number on there, so y'all can call him at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just joking though, but Dr. G, thank you, Melanie, thank you so much. I'm gonna try to get some of the nutritionists to give do another, maybe like a 5-minute little joint. Y'all know, man, y'all already know, like this joint, subscribe. Pompeii, best place to get bariatric surgery. They look out for you, they put you in a beach house. What's more better than that? And you get tequila off the street for like $1. Mexico is the shit. They give you a plate of cheese with chorizo melted on it. Where can you find that at? I don't know. But she's 8 years out. I'm about almost a year out. Yeah, I met one of the surgeons, Dr. G. Maybe you could do we could get a Quinones and a Salcedo, right? I said it right? Mm-hmm. Salcedo. Those are the other 2 surgeons, 3 of us. It's 3 of them. I said 3 of us. It's only 1 of me. Y'all already know. Johnny Salsa on Facebook, man. Like, subscribe. I love y'all, man. And I'm about to be out because I'm going to enjoy Mexico and buy some more souvenirs and stuff that I don't need.